What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the PropsMadness YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to quickly go over all the different play types. This is going to be a little bit of a different video from all the previous tutorials and future tutorials that we'll put up. But we really want to make sure that you guys are understanding what some of these play types are, the definitions behind them, and then also thinking about how you can use this as an advantage for your analysis when you're going through PropsMadness. So let's start right away by looking at all the different play types we have here. Isolation, putback, pick and roll ball handler, pick and roll roll man, post up, spot up, handoff, cut, off screen, and transition. There's also one more play type that is not factored in here in this table, but that we do keep track of in our play type analysis, which is free throws. Now, of course, if you're familiar with the game of basketball, hopefully you know what free throws are, and I don't have to explain them. But just in case you're new to the sport, of course, when you get fouled, in a shooting motion, you'll be headed to the line shooting 2 free throws. And so we're accounting those as well within our analysis. But without further ado, let's take a look at all the different play types and go through each one and some examples. So first off, we have isolation here. And isolation is basically a one-on-one play where the offensive player attacks his defender without direct help from teammates to create a scoring opportunity. So an example of a player who probably has a high frequency of isolation plays is someone like James Harden. He likes to size up his defender and size him up one-on-one, either drive into the lane, pull up for a shot, or simply shoot over the defender. And so there's not really that many types of players like James Harden who like to do this sort of, ISO ball in today's day and age, at least. So, but he is one of the higher frequency players, as I mentioned. And how you want to use this information is you want to look at his frequency in terms of, how much of his points are stemming from this specific play type, and also how the percentage of points that it actually represents when factoring in his total points per game. So, and then of course, if you want to target a team that is really bad at defending the isolation play, that presents as an opportunity for a potential over for James Harden, depending on the line that is being set. And of course, the contrary applies as well. If a team is really good at defending isolation plays, then maybe you want to think about taking the under on someone like James Harden. So that's just some food for thought. Here we also have the putback play type. So this is an immediate shot following an offensive rebound before any structured play is initiated. So this typically results in a tip-in, a dunk, or a layup. And you want to think of players like Mitchell Robinson, Ivica Zubac, even like a Rudy Gobert. So someone who is hanging around the rim, trying to get second chance opportunities for his team and finishing plays in that regard. So again, by looking at the defense, you want to target a team that is really poor at defensive rebounding or really poor at defending shots at the rim as well. And so that's how you can kind of use it to your advantage by understanding, the play type and also the players that suit this play type. You also have pick and roll ball handler. So a play that occurs when the ball handler uses or even rejects actually a screen and finishes the play with a shot attempt. So guys like Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they all are high frequency ball handlers in pick and roll situations. And they'll either use the pick to free themselves up for a shot or a drive to the rim, or sometimes, as I mentioned, they'll even reject the screen and kind of step back away from that and take a jump shot. So all these different actions within the play are accounted for within the pick and roll ball handler. And then from the screener perspective, that's when we look at the pick and roll roll man play type. So this is a play that occurs when the screener receives the ball from the ball handler and finishes the play with a shot attempt. And typically this comes from a screen that is being set where the screener is rolling to the rim or slipping to the rim or even popping out to catch for a pick and pop. So think about players like Joel Embiid, Nikola Vucevic, Domantas Sabonis. These types of players have a higher frequency of the pick and roll roll man play type. Next, we have the post up. So this is a shot that comes from the low post area and typically with the player's back to the basket or with a face up post up move against their defender. So typically this is like bigger players, but obviously there are some guys like LeBron James, for example, who will post up on occasion. But for players that are higher frequency in terms of post up, we're thinking about Zach Edey, Jonas Valanciunas, Nikola Jokic, that type of player. We also have the spot up play type. So this is a play that results in either a catch and shoot or a catch and drive, where the player receives the ball in a stationary position and immediately looks to score. So we're talking about your Norman Powells, your OG Anunobis, guys who are often on the perimeter waiting for their playmaker to send them the ball. And they'll either, rise up and shoot off the pass, or they'll either pump fake, drive to the rim, just get a really good opportunity at the basket. So again, these are typically like 3-and-D wings you want to think of that are, spotting up from behind the perimeter. We also have the handoff play type. So this is a play that begins with the passer who is either stationary or dribbling towards the receiver and hands the ball off to their teammate, who immediately pulls up or drives to the lane for a shot attempt. So guys who are higher frequency in terms of handoffs are Stephen Curry, Michael Porter Jr., and it's more of like a free-flowing offense. You have guys who are trying to free up space and just receive the ball, hand it off to them by a teammate to get a nice look for a jumper. And then we also have the cut play type. So one thing I want to mention before I dive into the definition of what a cut is, this is the only play type where there are no defensive rankings for, so that's something you want to keep in mind. But a cut is an offensive action where the player moves towards the basket without the ball, receives the pass in motion, and finishes the possession. So you can have guys like Amen Thompson, who are really quick and basically cutting to the rim backdoor, or someone like even Jakob Poeltl, who will cut to the rim on occasion as well. So that's the cut play type. We also have off-screen here. So off-screen is kind of similar in terms of the idea as far as handoff goes, but there is a bit of a difference. So off-screen is a play where the player uses an off-ball screen set by a teammate to get open, receives the pass, and immediately pulls up or drives to the lane for a shot attempt. So the difference between the handoff is that the handoff is coming from a teammate where the ball is being passed to them directly, whereas for the off screen, they're actually using the screen from another teammate before receiving a pass from someone else, and then deciding whether to shoot off of that pass or driving to the lane, either for a mid-range jumper or a shot at the rim. And then finally, we have the transition play type. So this is a play where the defense is not set in the half court after a change of possession, resulting in a shot attempt in the open court fast break. So examples are guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Tyrese Maxey, LeBron James, guys who will use their quickness and their speed to get past the defense that is not set and take advantage of numbers pretty much, like 5-on-4, 4-on-3 opportunities. And like I said, using their speed as leverage. So we'll actually look at an example, and I have here Jaylen Brown's play type analysis. So what we can see are all the different rows of play types, the points associated with each of those play types. So for example, on the first row, we see that Jaylen Brown's most dominant play type is the pick and roll ball handler, and he's averaging 6.9 points per game from that play type. What we can also see is that 20% of his points stemming from all play types are coming from the pick and roll ball handler play type. And then, of course, for the final column, we see opponent defensive ranking. So right now, I can't remember who he's playing against, but they are ranked 22nd in the league at defending pick and roll ball handler plays, which means that they're 9th worst in the league. So this is typically the type of defense that you want to target. Teams that are in the bottom half or the bottom 10 in the league at defending this play type. But again, you also want to factor for the percentage of their points that are stemming from that play type. Right now, we can see that Jaylen Brown has a pretty even distribution, right? 20% of his points are coming from the pick and roll ball handler, but then also 19% in transition, 16% ISO, 16% free throws. So it's pretty diverse, right? You're going to see some different players that have a bigger discrepancy in terms of their the percentage of points stemming from particular play types. For example, maybe someone like Rudy Gobert would have a putback and a pick and roll man as higher and more frequent play types, and less so like isolation. He's not going to be a guy who sizes up someone from the perimeter, right? So you just want to take into account the profile of the player as you're going through the analysis and weighing against all the different defenses that these players are facing. So that wraps everything up regarding play types. We're going to be diving into individual examples for each of these play types. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We're going to have those tutorials posted over the course of the next few weeks. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in. And let us know in the comments if there's any other video you guys want us to create. We're always looking to make more content that makes things easier for you guys as far as your research and analysis goes with Props Madness. So thanks, everyone. Take care.